Not since CryptoKitties meowed their way onto the Ethereum blockchain have we seen so much excitement around non-fungible tokens. I like to say that CryptoKitties were the entry point, the MySpace of NFTs for the masses. But now we have the legendary Garbage Pail Kids that broke all records with a major launch here in May by selling out the entire series of collectible cards in just over a day. And with us to discuss it and talk about how this figures in with the Wax blockchain and what the future of NFTs looks like is the Director of Business Development with Wax, Mr. Evan Vandenberg, or as we like to call him, Erratic Evan. I don't know, I'm trying to make up a Garbage Pail Kid for you.
Pretty good. That's on brand.
There you go. How you doing, man?
Hey, doing well, guys. Thanks for having me on.
These are exciting times. I mean, I know that, Topps is like, hey, let's take a risk with this. Yeah, we'll work with you guys, but everybody there has got to be blown away and ecstatic at how quickly these cards sold out.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I'd be completely lying to your face if I said that everybody had the expectation that this was going to do, the numbers that it was doing, right? So, I mean, just to recap those, so the audience that doesn't, necessarily know, we sold about $100,000 worth of cards. That was the initial launch. So those were hard cap. They were all programmed into a smart contract. NFTs were minted for each card that was opened. We sold out in, I believe it was 27 hours. Don't quote me, but roughly one day. The more impressive thing, though, and I think we can all on this call, agree on this, is the secondary market activity has just been off the charts. So the $100,000 that were sold in the primary market, I think we've 3 or 4x that already, and we're 1 week into it, just over. We did it last Tuesday, and now we're on Wednesday. So it's been wild. Cards are selling for $3,000. The funniest thing for me has been watching people put them up for sale on eBay. Just given the fact that this is blockchain, there's really absolutely no reason for eBay. Just seeing that those collectors that have no clue about blockchain are clearly involved, right? And I've got some numbers around that as well. But anyways, that's kind of my intro.
It's been really fascinating. So I collected these back in the day when I was 12 when those things came out originally, right? And so I remember collecting all those, and so if this first set. Right, and then all the additional sets build on to those numbers, right? So you got 41A, you got 1 through 41A, and then 1 through 41B. Those who don't know, the A varieties, those variants are about 1/2. They're about 50% as rare as the other one, or what? So they're more rare. A is more rare, and I guess there's about double the amount of cards for B. Is that kind of how that whole process
like
was?
That.
It kind of like that. It just and if I'm looking at, I've seen some of the actual statistics of how the cards are, like the number of cards, how many are in existence now, and it almost seems like it's been just sort of mathematical. You can't really pinpoint how many are of each one yet.
Well, part of it is that we were talking about this before he jumps on. Is there's so many unopened packs, so we don't even know, right, the full extent of what could theoretically be out there. So I think right now we've still got something like 30%, maybe even more, 40% of the packs haven't been unopened. That's largely driven by the fact that people are paying 20x face value for opening a pack, which is just nuts, right? I mean, we were selling 5-card packs for $5, and now I'm seeing them for sale for about $100.
Yeah.
So,
what? It's insane.
Yeah. It's wild.
There's no crypto that you could have bought this last week that would have 20x'd.
Yeah, no, I doubt it. I mean,
that's all your money in Garbage Pail Kids last week.
Yeah, I've been seeing people make that comparison a little bit, and yeah, it's been really fun to see. I think it's been really nice to see the insane amount of community activity too. I mean, associated with this, I can't tell you how many Telegram channels I've been pulled into, and side conversation, private channels. This thing's been, completely taken on a life of its own that I wish I could have told you I foresaw, but I didn't see it being this big.
Yeah. And it's a limited number of people that participated. I mean, how many people got to buy packs, unique wallet addresses?
It's about 1,200 unique people is what we've come down to, trying to kind of clean out for some of the people who have multiple accounts, multiple known accounts. So about, a little over 1,000 people, guys. So it wasn't that many people that moved this market. It really wasn't.
And how much, what percentage of those people would you say were already blockchainified versus, newbies who are like, wait, what's a blockchain? I want the card.
Yeah, so I did a poll yesterday, just so we'd have this data for you guys. We kind of went through, we did a poll in different channels, and it looks like the numbers aligned to about almost exactly 50-50. I got like 110 responses, and it was like 59 and 61. So this was a lot of people's first experience on blockchain, which for me is like the ultimate sign of success. And that's our whole kind of concept, is making this convenient and easy. And I think it's in large part due to our wallet experience, right? I mean, the log on, the sign in flow is a lot more simple for an everyday user than a typical crypto wallet, right? We leverage social logins. We do private key management for people who don't want to manage their own private keys. There's a lot of things that, things that we've been working on for months that, I think this has been the first time we've seen them really come to fruition and pull people out of mainstream, we'll call it.
Yeah, that's one of the things that people have been interested about, is how secure is this, right? Because if people's wallets were getting hacked, that would be catastrophic. And so you have to make sure that you get that private, you got to get the security set up and the private keys. Is there a way to actually take, and I've heard that some people, there are some methods like to take your cards off of this and put them on Ledger or something? Like, what is the process if somebody wants to get these cards off of the Wax exchange?
Yeah, you just pull them off. So you literally just send them to whatever wallet address you want. I mean, there's Scatter, there's Links, there's all sorts of, in Ledger for that matter. Honestly, with your gold card, that's probably what I would do. The cloud wallet has been extremely safe and secure. But at the end of the day, I'm with you guys. I mean, we're all, kind of hardcore crypto people, and I don't do anything without putting on a hardware wallet, right? Anything of value. And so I do understand that. It's more of, we needed a gateway drug to get people in the door to experience this. And then once you have something interesting and something of value to you, that's where you can start to begin to explore, other options. And I think we're going to start doing just direct links to other wallets where you manage your own private key. So just do kind of an import-export deal, just to make it a bit more simple. But in any case, you can easily move them off your wallet right now.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to be able to move multiple at a time, right? I think that's one of the challenges, is that and even this actually kind of comes to a question. I'll let Joel have the next couple questions, but is there a way to make a collection of these? Because now I've completed the base set and I've completed the prism set, but like, how do I move them all or secure them or put them in or even sell them all as a set? Is that something that's going to be coming up as another feature?
Look, I totally agree with you. Somebody already built it. We didn't have to build it. Somebody built the DApp to do that. Yeah. So the GPK marketplace itself, gpk.market, actually has that built in. So it kind of tells you which parts of your set is missing.
Yeah, that was really handy. Or which ones you have duplicate. That helps you sell them easily.
And then there's also alternative sites where you can actually just kind of, maybe I cut out there for a second. But anyways, long story short is there's multiple ways to do that outside the wallet. However, that being said, with this kind of volume and this type of success, I think in our wallet, we're doing a V2 upgrade of our wallet here in the next couple of weeks. It's awesome. And I think one of the things we're going to do is we're going to do a set concept where, potentially with, Tops, obviously, but even with other people, we're hearing, as you guys well know, we're talking to people about other projects coming to the space. Everything kind of relies on this set concept and rarities. And maybe we're just going to have to build that type of filtering in so you can kind of select all, package them up, send them somewhere, make that a bit easier for the user. But it's a work in progress.
Here's what I don't understand. I'm looking at the aftermarket. Is gpk.market a site that you guys run, or it's a secondary, somebody else runs it?
No, that's third party. So that wasn't even available until a day after the GPK cards launched.
So here, two questions around that then. The first one is, when I go to sell a card, it automatically says, okay, we're going to take 10% out. 2% is going to go to Wax. 8% is going to go to Tops, which is, by the way, in and of itself, an incredible business model. Because in the past, Tops would sell a card, they'd collect the money for it, and that's it. Any aftermarket, they miss out on it. So, but it's possible to sell Why does this aftermarket site have that commission figured in, I guess is my question.
Yeah, so we won't promote sites that try to circumvent the author fees. And so there's the 2% isn't coming to Wax, it's going to the marketplace itself. So that's their, like, we'll call it their VIG on all the transactions. So they take a 2% marketplace fee, which is pretty generally, accepted rate. The 8% is the author fee. So that's for the IP holder themselves. And that's something that we had to work on from a technical infrastructure level for a while. Now we're making bigger strides and moving to newer, NFT standards that have this a bit more fleshed out. But yeah, long story short is exactly what you're saying. It's a great business model. It's part of the reason they wanted to do this is, they have a booming digital business anyways. Like they're making a lot of money on their mobile apps and things of that nature. But this is a totally different beast. And, looking at the fees right now, I mean, there's over $20,000 of collected fees. So post-market, right?
Right. So here's what I don't understand then. So a pack of cards on gpk.market is going for about 3,000 wax. But the sketch cards, there's some here that are going for half that, for 1,300 wax. And the sketch cards, those are the rare, right? You've got your base, your prism, then your sketch cards, which account for what percentage of all cards?
Yeah, the sketch ones, let me pull it up. It's right here. Sketch ones are, I mean, I know the collector's edition, there's really a small amount. I'm looking right here. It looks like a sketch A is 5% and a sketch B is 10% chance.
Okay, so I get, so when people are buying a pack, they're really going for like an atom bomb, which is the highest selling card, or they're going for one of the ultra rare collector's edition, which there is fewer than 100 of those total?
Correct. Yeah, so those are going to be, again, the math to me doesn't exactly add up. I think there's just something about pack opening for these people and just the hope of something better. I've tried to analyze this because it's certainly not a numbers game, right? I mean, the fact that atom bombs are going for 5-6x another card of the same rarity makes little to no sense to me as well. But again, that's collection, right? Like, to the same point, right? A Michael Jordan card, there's other reasons as to why people collect things, right? And so I think it's been weird to watch the values of different cards, because in our minds, right, and I think in a rational mind, they are numbers, right? Like it is a numbers game to some degree. And what I'm learning is that doesn't necessarily translate into how people behave. And there's more collector's mentality than, I probably thought there was going to be. And I like seeing that, right? I like the fact that people actually enjoy some of these cards specifically and want them. So, yeah.
Yeah. And so that comes to my question about, so you today, literally today, we're timestamping this May 20th, you guys did the drop for the golden cards.
Yes.
And originally we thought the thing was going to be that there's going to be one golden card for every one in the set. And then there was going to be some extras. And then they came out where there's 4 total cards and there's 25 of each cards. What was the methodology behind that? And maybe, one of the questions I'm seeing right here is like, why is there no atom bomb? Why was there no nasty Nick? Why was Rock and Robert chosen? People don't like Rock and Robert. Normally that's one of the lower ones. So what was the methodology of doing the golden cards the way that you did them, and how did you choose the ones you chose?
I would say that it was less up to us and more up to Topps in that regard. Like I know I personally pushed for doing one of each. I really wanted to be like, there was one, right? Just 1A, 1B.
The value of them would have been just tremendous then. I mean, because now there's 25 of each of them, and they're like, meh. There's more of these than there are of the other collectible ones, right?
Yeah, I mean, yes. So you are correct. Mathematically, it is more likely that you would have a gold card than a collector edition, Kim Kong, right? But yeah, and I think, to be completely transparent, guys, I think part of it is just learning. I don't know that everyone had this all sorted out, especially the golden card piece, as much as we'd like to. And I think going forward, that's something I'm personally going to be really trying to push for, is I would like to keep doing the golden card stuff, right? I would like to keep doing that concept. I would like it to be 82 cards. And maybe if there's 12 more, right, or if there's some other amount of cards, we make them a one of one of some different nature. But I'd like to get down to, yeah, I think your head is in the right space. Like, I genuinely get what you're saying, and I think that would have been the right move.
Dude, somebody got a one of one atom bomb. That thing would have sold for 2 million wax.
I think it probably would have.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe.
cool.
So, here's my thinking is that this is series one. Like you said, 1,200 people got in on it. My question for Topps, and you might have some of this data from them, is when they released the original set of cards in 1985, how many did they sell? How many atom bombs of the originals were purchased? Did they have any of those?
I don't have that number off the top of my head.
I mean, they had to be, 100,000 of them, you would think, right?
I would guess more, yeah, or around that number at the very least.
They were everywhere. I mean, as big as the Cabbage Patch Kids were, these Garbage Pail cards were literally every grocery store,
Right.
every gas station. And you know how many cards that they would print out with baseball cards, like literally millions and millions. I would say that there's probably 1 million atom bombs out there, if not more.
Okay, so that go to the question is then, if only like the most common card that you have will probably have about 1,000 copies, right?
Yep.
Once all the packs are opened, your most common B variety base card will have about 1,000 copies of it. Does that math sound right? That's nothing.
Right.
That's nothing. That is
it really is limited. Yeah.
So if Topps and Wax and the rest of the blockchain will do a good job of bringing this to the masses, when Series 2 comes out, which maybe you'll be able to give us a clue when that'll happen, I would think that everybody that missed Series 1 will be like, what? How did I miss these? And even the most common card will skyrocket. At least that's my perception. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so as well. I think one thing we're really trying to be sensitive of is not to just say, hey, this was a big success, let's make $500,000 for the cards and, infinitely, 5x the number of cards on the next series. So we're really not going to do that. We're going to try to stick to our guns and keep it around the same number of cards. I think it's the right thing to do at this point. Maybe at some point in the future, we'll find a reason for bumping that up. But for right now, the plan is to stick around where we are for the time being.
But you don't have to, because now Topps is making the aftermarket 8%. They don't, if they make too many cards, then the value of all of them goes down, which means there'll be less secondary market activity. So by keeping the number small, they're actually increasing the scarcity, and thus the demand will be there.
I could not agree more. Yes. So that makes sense, right? And I think everybody wins in that scenario because none of us want to see a junk card error, right, on blockchain. I mean, it's easy to do. Let's be clear, right? If you wanted to make a smart contract, you could print a million cards. We don't want to do that. And so and they're very much in alignment on this. Like, we understand we don't want to flood the market. This has been a good start, and it can certainly grow in terms of volume of cards over time, but we're not going to just flood it because we've had one really big win. We're going to keep that around. The secondary market still keeps it interesting from a business perspective, more than interesting. And so I think you totally make a valid point. And I do think these Series 1s are going to actually go up. I bet you see them steady at some point, and I bet you see in 3-4 months from now, they go way up, is my guess, because people are going to want the Series 1 first release, and it's just going to be extremely hard to come by.
Yeah, that was my thought. That's why I was like, you know what? Let me complete the set. And then I got close to completing the Prism set, and I was like, okay, well, let me. And so I was going on these various different markets and going in there right at first where the prices were pretty low. So I was able to get, I think the most I spent for one was Atom Bomb Prism, where I spent 2,000 wax for, which now that thing's going for 6,000 wax or 5,000 wax. Yeah. And so it's like, it's been so phenomenal watching these prices and the amount of arbitrage that I see going on, right? It's like you're seeing people going in here and then scooping up. Like, I just saw some dude on the simple market go in, buy a Mean Gene Golden for 21,000 wax, and then go in here and trying to sell it on the GPK market for 44,000 wax. So there, like, and I've gone through and I was like, oh well, look, I found a way to finally sort on Simple Market, and so I was going through it. You can actually go through and type in Prism, and then we'll show you all the Prism ones. And I was looking at all the ones that were undervalued based because most of the sales seem to be going through on GPK market. So last night I was going through and buying a bunch of cards up so I could resell them over here in the other market. So I've never seen anything in the crypto market or the digital collectible market that has gone off like this. This seems to be the moment. The second moment. The first moment, like as Joel said earlier, was the Crypto Kitties, and now it's like boom. It seems to be a whole new era that we're going to be looking at now.
I couldn't agree more. And I mean, we've talked, in different conversations, and you're a collector yourself, but realistically, there's nothing that can't be done on this other than making some kind of physical cardboard that you can hold in your hand. And ultimately that could even come into play, right? At some point you could even tether a physical asset to these things, right? If you're in an ultra rare, collector edition card or whatever. But realistically, all the properties of collectability, this is just a hyper efficient way of doing it, right? You can find buyers and sellers in seconds, as opposed to having to go, trust somebody on eBay or go do all these other things that, historically have had either massive transaction fees and or are ridden with fraud and just are inefficient, right? You got to go to conferences, whatever it may be, to find these people. So I think this is really the tip of the iceberg. This first GPK release. I mean, just looking at Topps, GPK is not their number one seller, right? Let's be clear. In terms of volume, it's not even close. And seeing this work on such a scale with GPK gives me so much hope for other IPs on, not just Topps, but other massive IP holders that we're talking to about doing different collectibles that can be used in games. And I think that hybrid's going to be another echelon. I think that's going to be the evolution of it, is these cards have utility in some sort of, trading card game, or, it's Pokemon or whatever it may be, right? That's kind of where I see it going. The collectible stuff, though, is always interesting, and especially when there's this type of volume of sales.
There's no utility.
Yeah, no, there's no game, right? I mean, this is truly collectors collecting because they like collecting and they like to make money speculating and selling their cards, right? I mean, that is genuinely what's going on here.
It's just fun. So can you give us a little inside scoop on when we can expect the second series of Garbage Pail Kids?
I'll give you two inside scoops.
Okay, here come the scoops, gang. Scoop it up. Two scoops. So scoop one, early June is the timeline for the next drop. And scoop two is it won't be series 2. It'll be a more timely themed Garbage Pail Kid pack. Series 2 will come out later, I don't know, late June, early July. It just depends on what the right timing is. But we do intend to continue the series, but I really like this timely stuff. And, we spoke a bit off air about it. I don't want to give away too much, but I would say this one's going to be, it'll be gone in 10 minutes if we allow it to be. Wow. Well, I don't know that you can. I mean, it's kind of like when you think of concert tickets, right? You've got the scalpers that have a whole bay of computers and people that are there, to buy tickets up quickly so they can resell them. And that's not right. So how do you limit what people can buy so they don't, I understand free market principles. Yep. But at the same time, there needs to be some sort of gatekeeper on it, so people that have a boatload of money aren't just going to be able to buy out the collection and gouge everybody else.
Right. I mean, and at this rate, right, some people would be comfortable probably putting $50,000 on their credit card, buying half the packs, and thinking, believing in rightfully so that they could make their money back probably. So that's not financial advice. I'm just saying.
That's what I should have done last week. Damn it.
So, but to answer your initial question, right, what are we going to do about that? How are we going to solve for that problem? So we're working very, very closely with them on that. I think what we're going to have to do is it's going to be a combination of things. There's no one right solution because there's a way to gamify any one solution. So I think it'll be a purchase limit in any buy order. So anytime you're going in there, maybe it's 5-10 packs that any single purchase can make. And then by accounts. And then also potentially we talked about this concept of tranching out, every 25 minutes or every 30 minutes we release another 10,000 cards or 20,000 cards or whatever, you know, the denomination ends up being. That way you have a time lapse and you have this kind of limiting factor of what can one person purchase with their credit card at any given time, which is a great problem to have, guys. Let's be clear. I'm thrilled that we have to think through this.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it was because that's one of the things is like, we didn't find out about it until after the mega packs were already gone. So we didn't have any opportunity to buy any of the mega packs because those were gone in 7 hours.
Yeah.
Right. Whenever we found out about it, I think there was like maybe 3,000 packs total. And so, and I was like, and then I bought a few, and then I was like, maybe I should buy a few more. And I was like, this is stupid. Are you serious? I'm going to spend another $50 on these freaking cards. Are you serious? I'm like, all right, I'll buy it. And then spending $5 and now those packs are worth $100. I mean, in your wildest dreams, like that wasn't going to happen. Like, I thought maybe they would be, maybe the pack will go for $10. Maybe the pack will go for $12. $100 in less than a week. That's scarcity, right? Here it is. There's only 1,000 of these cards available. As Joel mentioned, there's only 1,000 of the rare or the most common one is there's 1,000 of them, right? And think of all these people out there who are collectibles that aren't going to get a chance to get any of these. That's why the prices are so high. And man, you think 2-3 months from now, the prices could skyrocket from where they already are? That's insane.
Yeah, I genuinely believe that. So yeah, it's been wild. It's been wild to see, and I think it is kind of proving out some of the stuff was a lot of the promise of NFTs, right? That we've been hearing about since CryptoKitties. You just haven't seen it be delivered on in a meaningful way, in my opinion, right? And I think it took, doing this with Topps and doing it with a known IP like GPK that people actually did collect, I think really does help. That I think was a huge benefit for everybody involved. It wouldn't work if it was trash, right? I mean, if there was no collector mentality around it and it was just somebody pumping out cards that are scarce, that doesn't work. So there is a fine balance. And I've had way too many people reach out about doing, one-off packs of their favorite drawings they've made. And it's just kind of like, all right, man, this model works until it doesn't, right? And so we want to make sure we're selective about, what we're releasing, at least officially from our side. Obviously, it's an open blockchain. People can do whatever the hell they want.
Travis, do you have any more packs left?
I have no packs left, no.
You have no packs? But Evan,
I got one I can open up on.
Let's go ahead. Let's do an open. Go ahead. Let me give you permission. Sure. Now, for those of you that are listening in audio, we're actually recording in Zoom. So the video of this broadcast, you'll be able to find on the Facebook Mastermind group, Bad Crypto Mastermind, at badco.in/mastermind. And we'll also put it up on the Bad Crypto YouTube channel and the Bad Crypto Library channel. So
there they are, sold out.
Yeah. So he is going to his inventory right now.
3 packs left.
No, he might have more than that.
I have more. I got 5.
Oh,
nice.
Snap. All right.
You know how I got these, though, is I had actually given these to people. This is funny. I gave them away for different giveaways, and those people rejected my trades.
Oh.
They rejected your trades? What were you trading them?
In my account. So I just found these today.
That's awesome.
Nothing. It was a one-way trade. It was me giving them cards, but they just clearly they were getting bad trade offers, and they just decided to cancel all of them. So
for those of you that don't see this, they're glistening, and there's motion to them, and there's dimension. There's this 3-dimensional type of feel to the card. And go ahead and let's open up this pack here and see what you got.
Let's open up a wax pack.
Oh man, here we go. Big money.
And it's fun because it does this cool wax animation and tops, and then it shows the pack. It zips the pack open and
dibs if you got an atom bomb.
Chili Millie, Potty Scotty, Mean Gene, Cindy Lauper, Prism, and a flat pack.
All we got is a Prism.
That's what we call a flat pack right there.
Yeah, I mean that was not a good pull.
That's a flat pack. Now
we're doing one more. We're gonna do a live, right? We're doing one more. Huh?
There we go. Yeah, and isn't that always it? It's that.
That was exactly it. I opened up way too damn many.
One more.
Been selling them for $100 a piece.
All right, here we go.
I hate thinking about it like that. Come on, Booze and Bruce is all right. I'll take that.
Oh, there you go, TV Stevie. That's a good one.
Oh, we got
Cindy Lauper.
Wait, the TV Stevie Prism is one of the ones I'm missing. There's 3.
Right, I got you. All right.
Yes. Yes, because they're like 1,200 wax right now.
That is nuts.
Hey,
That's
go
crazy.
ahead? Why don't we show how the trade works as long as you have it open, and I'll take that card. I
Joel's
will.
all, while you have it open, you want you to just
I
give me that
will.
TV Steve.
Yeah,
I
which
will take
one's
that card.
yours? I think I follow you.
Mine address. So wax addresses are kind of funny, just like other crypto addresses. It's PFKPW.
Hold on one sec. I think I got you in my follows. PFK.
PW, which did not show up on the drop list for
Yeah, me either, man.
those who got the golden cards, but Travis did.
What do you do? You hit on the community. I always figure you hit on the community side, and then that's where you find someone, right?
Yeah, that's
PFK.
usually
What's your
PW. There it is. That's me.
Wham?
Yeah. Not to be confused with Wham of the 80s that did the jitterbug.
Oh no. You know what? Here, I'm just gonna.
No, you got to go to community,
Oh.
and then
I
you search for
search
someone there.
Oh, PFK. Say it one more time for us.
PW. The
PFK.
next one over there next to your mouse. The other way. That's it.
All right, we'll give you an offer.
Yes.
All right, you wanted.
The TV Stevie Prism card. Now, the hardest to come by is the Atom Bomb Prism card. And I know for those of you who are like, what the hell are you guys talking about? This is culturally relevant stuff because in the 80s and then into the 90s, Garbage Pail Kids were huge. And so this is a really interesting piece of nostalgia, that has been recaptured by what Tops and Wax have done. And now I see on my side in the screen, I will accept your offer because you are graciously donating a card to the cause. And now I'm only missing like 2 or 3 Prism cards. Now I'm gonna equal your opening here, and I'm gonna go ahead and do an opening of one of my packs as well to make it interesting. So here is mine. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 regular packs, and I am not opening the mega pack. I am hodling the mega pack. So which
those mega packs though, they seem to have a lot more sketches and prisms in it, wasn't it? It's like
right.
guaranteed to have X amount of like at least 5 prisms, right?
Something, yeah. Yeah, the numbers I gotta look up.
The percentages are higher of getting a rare card. So Travis, should I open pack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7?
Let's go 5.
Number 5 it is. So here we go. Open it up. I think we need a sound effect there, right? When it opens the pack.
Yeah, we're adding that. That was a miss.
Damaged Don, New Wave Dave, Dressy Jesse, Drippy Dan, and Nervous Rex.
Ooh,
Not them all, but 2 prisms. And you know what? That'll pay for itself because I believe over time those prisms, when the collectors come later, not a card advisor, but I do think that there's going to be a demand for Series 1 when Series 2 and 3 and 4 and the future cards come out.
Oh, that mega pack too. I mean, I wonder what that'll be worth if, even just like talking about the growth of the platform on this, like I think there's something like 3,000 accounts now that have touched a card, maybe more. So we're seeing that like slow growth of like the entire GTA Wax community. So people are getting involved every day that weren't involved the day before. And those mega packs are primo, man. Those are hard to come by.
Do you think there's going to be a tipping point where people realize, okay, look, the majority of this collectible, the collector edition cards are gone. Look, there's 50 Atom Bomb sketches now. There's not going to be very many more of those. Like, what's that tipping point, do you think, where the supply of them are already going to be pulled based on mathematics, and most of these, you can tell that the rest of these packs aren't going to be as valuable?
Well, to be fair, every pack down to the last pack opened has the same odds that it would have had to pull any card from the get-go, right? That was part of the way we designed it, right? We didn't.
It's not predetermined. There's not a set number of cards. It's
so there could be 16, or there could be 20 of one of one sketch that's an A, and there could be 35 of another one just because the randomness of it just didn't generate as many of those.
Yeah, I mean, statistically speaking, it would be incredibly unlikely for certain scenarios, but yeah, in theory, yes, yeah. There could be, there could be some skews like that. So We did that though intentionally, right? I mean, we didn't want the guy who got the last pack to feel like, oh, the last pack opened. Oh, well, there's no good cards left, right?
Right. Okay.
And so that was part of, that was a long conversation. It was when we settled on this, and I'm very happy we did, because
I like that.
your pack now is as good as it was the second anything else was opened, right? I mean, those collector's editions are just as likely. It's a math.
Well, we did take $15 and turn it into $300 and then burn $300 right now.
That's part of the game, though, right? And that's the reason people are buying them, is they don't know. It's that mystery. It's that same sensation you had when you were a kid and you opened up these packs and you're like, you and your friends are thumbing through them. Oh, I got this. I got a stick of gum.
Mm-hmm. Is there going to be a time, like how soon, or are you even in discussions, or can you even tell us about like sports? Like, because I mean, some of these old baseball card sets and football card sets from Topps, I mean, it would just be amazing if they could release some of those. Are you guys in discussions around any of that? And is there any timeline on that or anything you can share?
I can definitely tell you discussions have been more than had. I would love to, and I know I've spoken to you about this previously, but even doing a remake of an old pack that people love, like a 1970s whatever, right? I mean, the thing with sports and baseball,
1952 Topps cards would be amazing, right? It would just be ridiculous.
Yeah, we make those really limited, right? And we could do like, I mean, the thing for them is, I just think it would be so cool to bring those old digital cards. It's not like we're competing with the physical cards, right? So I don't see any like conflict there.
It could be all stars. It could just be Topps all stars, right? They release 40 cards, so you can get your Mickey Mantle and your Stan Musial and your Joe DiMaggio, right? All of these, George Brett, and there'd be just series of all stars. And now every time you open a pack, you're getting somebody who you know is beloved in baseball.
The top 82 of those sets. And then you do the same thing with the sketch and the prism or stars or whatever.
Yeah, and we could even use the original like artwork.
Dude, the back, you flip the back over, it's exactly the same. Then you have those extra rarity levels on top of that. And then you make a collectible golden atom bomb next time instead of Rockin' Robert.
This is some interesting data right here, by the way, fellas. Looking at the stats from Wax Data Analytics, the trades on GPK Market and Simple Market since the launch have surpassed 6 million wax, which is about $210,000.
Jesus.
So the secondary market has produced twice as much volume as the initial sale in 1 week.
In 1 week, wow.
Well, I know for a fact that it's more than that, because there's another I don't even want to say the name, but there was an exchange that was doing spot exchange. It literally looks like an exchange, but for packs, because they are technically fungible tokens. So that I know accounts for like another 100,000. So we're over.
And then you've got eBay, right? People selling them there.
Yeah, no idea why, but it's been like, there's like 10 pages on eBay. So like for the guys who just, that's what they know, and the real like old school collectors, then they just go to what they know, and they're like, yeah, I'll send it to you. It's like, and I don't know. Yeah.
Send me a shitload, and maybe I'll send you the digital card. Maybe I won't. Yeah. Well, people don't want to ruin their reputation on eBay. They spend a lot of time, for the most part, building up their reputation. They're not gonna ruin it for $100 for the most part. Most people won't. Some people have spent years, decade or more building out their eBay.
Well, dude, this has been great. Thanks for coming on and sharing your perspective from inside Wax. And we're looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with next. And if we have our druthers, and we do like our druthers, we're hoping to participate in some new and innovative ways.
Yes, you are. I'm excited for all of it. Thanks so much for having me on, guys. Always fun talking with you.
Well, one thing before we go, one thing I did notice is that whenever these dropped, Wax tokens was like 3 cents, a little under 3 cents or so. And I seen it spike as almost as 4 cents. But the volume, it looks like the volume of Wax has just skyrocketed over the course of this last week. And that to me is a pretty good telltale sign that people are liking these collectibles. They like the experience of it. They're enjoying it. They enjoy the community of it. And it looks like that the Wax token price looks like it's going to be a beneficiary of that. So great job on all fronts.
Yeah, that would be something. Somebody actually doing something meaningful in crypto and reflecting in the token price. I won't even comment on that, but it's certainly never bad news. So,
Well, you
uh,
already did, and we appreciate it. So thanks, Evan.
all right, guys, appreciate it. Talk to you later.
Who's back?